Hey everyone, this podcast is part of Story Mode, the podcast network of Gamefully Unemployed. You can support us and gain access to other great exclusive podcasts like Tom and Jeff Watch Batman by heading over to patreon.com/gamefullyunemployed. That's patreon.com/GAMEFULLY unemployed, which is spelled like it sounds.
I seen him, and both of you are floating if you think you know what Batman really is.
Hey everyone. My name is Tom.
And my name's Jeff, and we're
crooning about Batman.
Crooning about Batman's Gotham Knight, the thing that sort of doesn't count.
Yeah, it's
so weird.
It's like the EU of the Dark Knight movies.
It's Batman Tales.
It's Tales of the Bounty Hunter for the Christopher Nolan Batman universe.
It's a lot of people tweeted at me like, "Is this canon?" And I'm like, "Yes, but no."
Sort
it's
of.
so weird.
Yeah.
It's like because there are things, as we're going to discuss through the next two episodes of the show, that tie directly to the Nolan. It takes
a
place,
little, yeah.
It is technically taking place in the Nolanverse.
Yes.
As my research has stated, the producers did not intend for it to be canon, but it is also kind of canon.
Right. Within itself, it is canon.
Yes.
The Nolan movies do not recognize the events really.
No, but
man,
it's so. This is such a unique. The reason that I wanted to do this and that I wanted to include this in our series of Nolan stuff is because this is such a fascinating study in what was the Nolan versus sort of revolution of this.
Yeah,
of this genre it's insane.
There was, we've been jokingly referring to this as the Batman-Matrix back and forth before we're recording this, because I think the hype of the Nolan movies, particularly leading up to The Dark Knight, was such that it was able to produce this thing, the
True.
Gotham Knight, which I don't believe you would have gotten from any other.
You need an insanely hyped up sequel.
Yes.
In order for this to work, hence Matrix Reloaded.
Yes.
And this is actually an important parallel that I want to talk about because
did we make it clear that we're talking about Gotham Knight? We did, right?
Yes,
okay.
We did. We talked about it right away, but we're talking about Gotham Knight, 2008. It is a animated anthology series that takes place within the Nolanverse while not being Nolanverse canon.
Yeah, it's supposed to. If you haven't seen it, it was a DVD. It was a direct-to-DVD release for what DC premiere.
It was direct-to-DVD, but it also had a primetime premiere on, I think, Spike.
That sounds right.
Yeah, it was one of those. Like kind of like we're man's cable.
Yeah.
Sure, man. This was released July 3rd, 2018, which is almost exactly 2 weeks before The Dark Knight. Yeah. This is a calculated assault on your wallets.
It's the only. We both realized right before we sat down to record this that we each haven't seen this since 2008.
Correct.
Because that 2 week window in between when this dropped and when Dark Knight came out is the only time to watch this, I think.
I would say so. And this is why it's important. And I'm going to do something I don't normally do, which is sort of reference a separate, unrelated piece, but that is impossible to ignore because I want to talk about the Animatrix.
We've never done that before.
I know, but like because I want to talk about it in depth because the Animatrix is a massive success artistically, in my opinion, and Gotham Knight is, and I'm going to put this as delicately as possible, is not.
In a word, not.
And there are going to be reasons for that.
Yeah, both Warner Brothers.
Brothers.
It's born from the same strategy of, hey, these fans really fucking want some shit.
What I think is one had a lot more time and care put into the animation.
Oh, yeah.
Than the other. I think the Animatrix is something that the Wachowski siblings went very far out of their way to cultivate as being a very important part of canon. The Animatrix is 100% in canon in the Matrix world.
Yeah, and the time frame is also the thing. Because it was 99 for. It was like 4 years. Well, they had like one extra year.
They had a little extra time,
and they snuck one in at the beginning of Dreamcatcher. Like in the theaters, they were teasing it.
Yeah, and they did. There was the whole I think the stories were much more, and I don't know if this is the word, microcosmic, meaning they touched much tinier parts than trying to sort of go over such a broad, and also there were more. I think there were 8 or 9 episodes in the Animatrix.
I have to admit I've not seen all of the Animatrix.
I love the Animatrix. It's my second favorite Matrix movie.
That's fair.
The Final Fantasy Spirits Within animation company, and I forget who it is, and I'm so sorry.
I know but
that, like, it's like really great art, and in here in Gotham Knight, it seems rushed.
You can tell that it's rushed. Some of the styles I think are cool.
Sure.
But the animation itself is bad.
It's in most. I think next week we're going to get, I think, better animation.
Yeah, and some of it, okay.
Okay, we opened sloppy. How about that? How about, can we agree that our first chapter,
what is it called?
Have I Got a Story for You, is sloppy for a couple reasons.
I felt like, because my first note on this, my first note is the the opening titles looks like a DVD menu.
Yep.
It looks like an animated DVD, because it's zooming across the Gotham rooftops, and then it hits the Batman, and it says Batman Gotham Knight, and it's like, okay, like this.
Sure.
It looks like an animated DVD menu from 2004.
Like, we know what we are.
Yeah.
From 2008.
I would not be surprised if that was the actual menu and they just put it in the beginning of the thing when you watch it on streaming.
Yeah, we need to take up a little bit extra space. So Have I Got a Story for You is an interesting sort of concept to open with, because it's something we've seen with Batman.
It's almost got him
multiple times. Well, it's Legends of the Dark Knight, the episode from The Adventures of Batman and Robin.
Haven't seen that.
It's the one that does the kid. We're gonna discuss it. It's a Batman the Animated Series episode. And it's but what it is because Almost Got Him is they're telling not different interpretations, they're just telling their story of what happened.
Right.
But there's the Legend of the Dark Knight, which I think 3 different kids are explaining Batman, as one describes him as being the Dark Knight Returns Batman. One describes him as being the 60s cartoon Batman, and I forget what the other one is, but it's, this is different. This is and this was also a comic that they adapted. There was a comic that was the same thing, where kids are misinterpreting it.
This looks like skateboarding Eon Flux.
So
I couldn't tell if the stuttering, it's not the animation style, I couldn't tell if it was a stylistic choice, which it may have been part of it.
Yeah. It's like a bad music video.
Yeah. It reminds me of like a candy commercial.
Yeah.
Because it's these pre-rendered backgrounds, I think.
The backgrounds are actually quite good.
Right. But they're different styles.
Yeah, it's
which
weird.
Is strange.
It's strange. This is a strange thing to open. So we open with B-Devil. That's his name.
A lot of authentic teen dialogue with these skateboard teens.
These cool teens.
You all are floating. I have that one written down.
Oh,
what the fuck does that mean?
Their names are B-Devil, and B-Devil is skating around in an abandoned indoor pool, half pipe thing.
Yeah,
whatever.
It's just a bunch of empty pools.
Yeah, it's pools. Waiting on Pork Chop, Mish, and Dander. Those are their names. And boy, does each one have a story to tell you.
They do, and all of their stories involve it seems like a lot of crooks and cops in Gotham really are into thwarting skateboarders. Because the very first story we get is the kid is skateboarding around the docks, and this guy who looks like the villain from Incredibles 2 pops out.
Yeah, it's a frogman.
It's a frogman, and stomps on his skateboard as he goes by and takes his skateboard and is going to brain the kid with a skateboard. Now, as we later learn, he may be embellishing this part of it.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, why the hell would this guy do that?
I think kids always feel persecuted by adults. So I don't have a problem with that part of the interpretation.
I guess until you get into the game, it's like a weird way to start because the guy's also the crook is also a monster. Like it has a monster face in this one.
Yeah.
And Batman's a monster.
Yeah, this is Pork Chop is a moron. He's the dumbest kid in the
dumb
group.
Kid.
He's a real dumb fuck.
He's in all the remedial classes.
You are in the Nolan versus Gotham City. You don't need to invent monsters.
Yeah.
You're filled with them. You have regular people
they're
monsters.
all over the place. Monstering it up.
And then we have Batman sort of
bleeds
moving like smoke.
Yeah, he bleeds in and out of the shadows, which is kind of cool.
It's
like
a cool...
Like fucking Satan.
But like my other thing, if you saw Batman do anything, you'd never mistake him for a monster because his meaty face is bulging out of that costume.
I have this written down, and this is just... This section, though, Have I Got a Story for You... Mm-hmm. Even adds even more credence to our running theory that every single person in Gotham has face blindness and no object permanence.
They don't know what's happening.
Because they cannot tell that Batman is just a guy in a costume that only vaguely suggests a bat.
Yeah.
And not a literal bat monster.
Yeah. Like you
he's
have to
clearly a dude.
You have to jump to a lot of conclusions to think this is a bat. I'd be like, is this like a cat guy?
Right. He doesn't even... I mean, he's got a bat on his chest. That's about it.
You don't... And without having Batman as part of your pop culture lexicon, you don't think about bats.
No.
Like, that world should not think about bats immediately.
Well, I mean,
the only reason Americans care about bats is because of Batman.
Like, nothing about, like, his cape does not look like wings.
No.
His ears are not bat. Those are devil horns. Those are not bat ears.
Yeah, they're... He was like some sort of daring devil.
Exactly.
Sure.
But even Daredevil's horns look like little cat ears. Like they fuck it up.
Yeah.
Like they should switch ears.
Yeah. Let me take those. You take these.
Here, you take these. I'll take those. Deflator Mouse is a better design for what Batman would technically be.
Deflator Mouse has actual bat ears.
And then Misha's like, no, that's not what happened.
Yeah.
Or no. It's not a not. They're kind of like ribbing each other, but then they move on to their story.
Each other, and we discover they're all telling the story of the same heist.
Which the heist ends up becoming a thread.
Yeah.
Which I like.
Yeah.
I do like that there are certain threads in this anthology that tie everything together. Mm-hmm. That's kind of cool.
Yeah. Like the satellite, which we'll get to.
It branches to Batman Begins. It branches to The Dark Knight, and it has a common thread in there. And that, from a storytelling perspective, that it is a success.
It's sort of. It's a little muddled.
There are certain parts where you're like, this doesn't fit.
Yeah, it just doesn't quite track.
But we got Jetpack Frogman.
He is an Incredibles villain.
Yeah,
like
it's and he takes a hostage. Batman is a bat now. He's just a bat.
He's like a gargoyle.
Just a living bat.
He is Man Bat.
He's Man Bat.
In Misha's story.
And he wrestles, throws the jetpack, and then decapitates the Frogman. And then they're like, no. And she's like, I know.
Yeah, I know. But wouldn't that have been sweet?
That would have been pretty cool if I saw a man get his head taken off. You fucking psychopath.
Like, I've been a teenager. I've embellished stories.
Yeah.
Why would you think you get away with tossing a random decapitation in there to spice things up? No one is gonna, like, you're kind of trying to sneak that by. Yeah. No, I totally had sex last year.
I totally had sex.
It was out in the woods.
It was with a giant bat.
It was with a giant gargoyle bat creature.
Then we get Dander.
It was with a fucking warlock's familiar
on the Empire State Building. Or whatever. The Gotham Empire State Building. Because you know how kids like to go up to touristy
Kids always go up on the observation decks of tall buildings when they have a day off from school.
Kids love that shit.
If Ferris Bueller's Day Off taught me anything, it's that.
You can lip sync, twist, and shout, and then go to an observation deck.
Shitty kids will go to observation towers.
I like the weird, dumb Robo Batman.
Yeah.
It was because it's such a, like, again, no. You can't possibly mistake this for anything. Yeah, it's just a dude. You can see it's a dude.
He's clearly a man.
Yeah.
Like, I get the game of it.
Yeah.
And it would be, I think the kids have to be younger for that particular game to work.
6. They'd have to be 6 to think Batman's a robot or an actual monster.
They'd have to be swapping stories in daycare. It would have to be the Look Who's Talking equivalent of this, where they're just telepathically.
That's what this is missing is telepathic babies.
Telepathic Bruce Willis. So
you know what? Throw Roseanne and Danny DeVito in there. Let's get the whole trilogy wrapped
gives a
up.
shit.
Damon Wayans. There it is. There it is. We found our thread.
Yeah, there we go. No, for teens, it feels like it should be them having different theories about who Batman is.
Yep.
You
or
know?
something.
Yeah, like, no, I heard he's ex-military.
Or what he does.
I heard he's like,
Or that he's a serial killer versus a vigilante or versus a cop. Or something
like a
that.
government agent or
exactly. Not a robot.
Not a fucking robot and a literal demon.
Do you think they were just like, hey, man, we're writing an anime, and someone's just like, Robot Man. Got it.
Robots.
Got it.
There's got to be at least a robot.
Do you guys have room for a giant mech suit in this?
Within your anime.
And then, of course, the fight comes to them, as it will always happen.
Yeah.
Once you start telling the stories, you're like, oh, it's going to hit right in front of them.
Yeah. The guy comes crashing in to their skate park, and Batman comes in after him. Batman's a little fucked up.
Yeah, Batman's taking
taking some shots.
Well, this is still year one, kind of like
right. But here's a disconnect, and there's a few here. We know because when they push it out, they're like, this is bridging the gap between Batman Begins and Dark Knight. We know in Batman Begins he's wearing armor. But he's clearly wearing a cloth costume because it's torn in this one, and that happens a few times.
There are.
It's like no.
There are a lot of. There are certainly a lot of, we'll just say, inconsistencies.
Yeah.
In the look, understandably so.
The look is fine because that was one of the mission statements of this. Is like 6 different animation visionaries bring their vision to what Batman is. So I was fine with that, but it's like, no, the basic rule, if you're existing in this universe, like it would be like doing an extended universe thing in Star Wars that takes place after Empire Strikes Back, and then Luke just doesn't have a robot hand.
Or
something like that.
And he has a samurai sword.
Yeah. Right. Luke carries an elephant gun. No, that's not a lightsaber. Just a
Rio Blast from He-Man backpack of guns just blowing people away. Yeah, that's a Rio Blast reference. And B-Devil fucks that dude up with a skateboard.
Fucking tattoos him with his skateboard.
That doesn't seem right.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem like it could be that effective. I mean, I guess it is, but...
Well, if you crank someone on the back of the skull with a skateboard, that's...
I guess it's anything.
I mean,
He killed that guy.
Yeah. Have you seen Kids?
Fair enough. Fair enough.
And then that's a weapon.
And then we get Kevin Conroy showing up. And then they're like, by the way, this shit's Kevin Conroy.
Yeah.
And you're like, all right.
Throughout, yeah.
Yeah, it's Kevin Conroy. They were like, you know what? He needs more money.
Yeah, he does.
And then that's it. It's how every one of these type of stories ends, which is Batman shows up, the kids are involved in some way.
Yeah.
The end.
Yeah, I've got Batman in my basement.
Yeah. It's all something.
Yeah, so...
But yeah, that'd be funny if Batman's like, so you guys got any, like, moms?
Do you guys have any moms that I can,
where are the moms?
Pay a visit to?
Swear to moms.
Swear to moms.
And
moms.
here's my thing about, like, I think we're gonna do
things.
A thing.
Yeah.
My thing for Have I Got a Story with You is that this more than any of the ones that we're gonna see throughout it seems rushed and sloppy. To me, it seems rushed.
It seems rushed, but I'll agree with that. It's not the least engaging one.
No,
there are 6 parts to this. There were a few where I was just on my phone for a lot of them.
You just couldn't get into it.
It's like, this is boring.
I mean, you're not wrong. But it's like...
But this one, at least...
It's just... The animation is so sloppy to me.
Yeah.
It's a difference when it's a style versus when it's clearly sloppy. And this comes off to me as being clearly sloppy, which is an interesting and odd choice. And here's the other thing, too, about the sloppiness that I'm guessing is that they have less time. You got to crank something out real fast.
That's true.
And if you're going with something highly stylized that you also still have to crank out fast, it's going to be the literal definition of sketchy.
Yeah. I mean, you don't get Disney level lip movement in a Batman the Animated Series episode, but it at least matches up on a syllable basis.
Yes.
Like, they don't even...
No.
And like none of these segments either. Like the lip syncing does not match.
Which is I don't mind that because I think you're working with almost entirely.
That's
you're
true.
You're working with. I mean, obviously, animators have generally been, in the East. But at this point in time, the translation of English to Japanese back to English or Korean or whatever.
I don't think that happened in this. Though.
No,
They didn't record the dialogue right? Because this is an American project, right?
It's an American project, but that doesn't mean it's animated in America.
No, of course not. Nothing.
So I guess your directors might not be
that's true.
as heavily versed in
that's true.
in English.
It just stuck out to me because I was
racist.
thinking, well, no, it makes sense normally for when you're watching an anime that's been dubbed in English.
Well, yeah. I'm saying it's more the script transfer more than it is
sure.
you're animating in Japanese.
Right.
That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying
I get it.
Yeah, that when you're looking at plots and breakdowns and everything, that you might not have the same quickness to do that, but also they might just have been like, we don't have time.
I feel like they just didn't have the time.
We've got
to do
3
it.
weeks to knock this son of a bitch out.
Because I mean, fucking, like Simpsons and Family Guy is animated overseas too, and they managed to match up the but
their styles are their styles are well affirmed. They're not really designing new characters, and I mean, are they all still hand animated? All of them all the time?
I don't think so.
I don't think they are.
No.
So once you have character, it's like South Park. You can crank it out in 3 days. You can crank the animation out in 3 days.
Right, because you're just reusing old assets.
Yeah, you're literally just throwing together the designs and everything that you already have.
It's like a Flash cartoon.
Kind of. But that is a lot of the brilliance of South Park, I think, is that you have something so simple that you can pour everything you have into plot and dialogue and not sweat what you can and can't do.
Yeah.
Whereas with this, you're talking actual hand drawn and painted.
Mm-hmm.
Probably hand drawn. I don't know if they were hand painted, but
maybe not
animation
at this point.
cells.
Yeah,
like, that's pretty intense. Or I mean, they might have done. Okay. Here's the other thing about
spending a lot of time on this.
It's fine. I don't mind. No, but we should because this is something that is a glaring issue.
Yeah,
I think. It also is early on in the like tablet style animation that you have much more common now. Like a lot of animation, even 2D animation now, is digitally created.
Right, you draw on a tablet.
But that was a decade ago.
Yeah,
and
you
so
got to remember this is 10 years ago.
The tech might not have been the same as it is now. I wish I knew more.
Certainly not. I mean, look at the goddamn cell phones that they use in movies 10 years. Like the cell phone that Bruce leaves in Mr. Lau's tower in The Dark Knight. It's like a Nokia.
Yeah. I got my... I'll save this for a couple weeks from now, Mr. Wayne.
No, why, dude? Like, how hard is he gaslighting that guard? We can get that.
So yeah, we'll get into that.
We'll get to that. On the
I saw there was do you watch Stan Against Evil?
No, I haven't. I need to.
There's it's great, and their third season they have an X-Files episode where and Stan Against Evil takes place now, but there's like a Mulder and Scully style, and they have the 90s
gigantic
cell phones.
Oh, sweet!
It's fucking hilarious.
Okay, so we're moving on to Crossfire, the second part.
Crossfire. This one's written by scribe Greg Rucka. Greg Rucka wrote this.
Okay.
Greg Rucka is a comics writer, primarily, mostly well known for writing like crime based. Like he's been a Batman writer for years.
Uh-huh.
He's written but he wrote GCPD, which is this guy. If you want to write a cop based thing, nobody better than
Not
Greg
a bad
Rucka.
choice.
And I'll open with that. This one is fantastic.
It's pretty good. My only complaint with it, like my only criticism of it, is it's setting up Ramirez, who is a character in The Dark Knight, as being so like, finally we've got a clean police force. She's one of the crooked cops that gets Harvey Dent killed.
This gets into it later. This is going to touch.
Because I didn't notice that if it's in there.
It is. And it's subtle as hell.
Because she says in The Dark Knight, they got to me early through my mother.
That part is it's implied that they're getting to her or that she's gotten to. And I think it's actually it might be in this specific scene, but I don't want to fast forward too much, but it's where Maroni is face to face with her and he's looking her up.
Yeah.
And he's got the gun and he's like, I've got you now.
Yeah.
And then it takes her out. But there's like this intense connection between, not a connection like a love connection, but like there's this, like him almost, maybe I'm reading too much into this, but almost studying her face to face to like almost put in his mental Rolodex that this is somebody that might not be as stable and somebody that I've got the drop on. I don't know. It seemed symbolic to me. I noticed it is all I'm saying. Maybe it's because I was looking for it. But
also because, we're doing the styles. This features Gordon, Ramirez, Maroni, and the Russian, who are all characters in The Dark Knight. Of course, they're all redesigned, although Gordon and Ramirez look roughly the same. Maroni and the Russian, however, they look like Final Fight bosses.
The Russian is insane looking. I think the animation, this is actually one of the ones where I'm iffy on this one, on the design of the Russian. That one took me out. And also,
it's crazy.
The wonderful use of Rob Paulsen in this.
He's great.
He is.
I knew it was him, but I had to double check. So I was like, because he's doing such a voice.
But it's funny that
you would think of
this
him
is going to sound stupid.
Guy.
This is going to sound really stupid, and I know it's sounding stupid, and I'm prefacing this with how stupid it sounds.
Say it.
It's a little cartoony for this cartoon.
A little bit.
This one is almost overly because the Nolanverse is considered so dark and grim and gruff that the Maroni character's like, wait, gotta get him. Like he's really like
he's very
over the top.
Little Dick Tracy
for somebody that's exactly right.
I think, but it's the least cartoony voice I've ever heard Rob Paulsen do.
For sure, he should have just done Raphael. The Wayne satellite is getting launched. That's what it opens with.
Yes.
And that is, it's an interesting thread to put throughout this anthology that he would need to do that. And he would have to launch a satellite now for crime fighting. Like he couldn't just use an old satellite that they had.
That's the cell phones.
But where do you think that's like the birthplace of that level of technology?
Yeah, that's what I was assuming that was going to tie into when he fucking bugs all of Gotham City in the end of Dark Knight.
It's a little creepy.
Oh, yeah.
That the satellite, he's like,
I need a satellite so I can keep watch on everyone.
We get into, the Nolan movies, which actually we didn't really discuss in Batman Begins, the Batman Begins episodes. The Nolan movies are very much post 9/11 movies about domestic terrorism.
Yeah.
Like these are Bush era films.
Oh, yeah. It's a Patriot Act movie.
Yes. Yeah. And it's something that the Marvel films do as well, where it's like the rich guy with all the technology
is the moral compass.
And he's always right.
Yeah.
Like we gotta take all these insane safety precautions because something's coming and then something comes. Like it's
another thing about Ramirez, by the way, is if you were dirty, you would be like, man, I'm so glad nobody's dirty here. Yeah. Like now that I think we were talking about that before, and I kind of lost my sort of brain on that one. But if I was, it's like the guy having an affair.
Yeah.
He's just like, what? No. What are you having an affair? Like,
man, I sure. It's like all those bribes falling around. Man, I don't know why you'd ever take a bribe.
Yeah.
Or how
I sure am glad all of the clean people are left. Isn't that right, fellow clean officer?
Yeah.
Detective Allen, who is also clean. And Detective Allen is pissed. First off, we get a lot of daytime Batman in this, probably for animation reasons.
Maybe.
I feel like animating daytime is a lot easier than animating nighttime for the most part.
Yeah,
probably.
I would assume.
Or I'm just talking out of my ass.
I don't know.
But Batman's just hanging out in Gordon's office. And Detective Allen is rightfully a little concerned.
Yeah.
He's in there again. Fucking son of a bitch. Oh, we are errand boys for this vigilante.
Yeah. So we have Jacob Freely is caught. The Man in Black is caught.
Mm-hmm.
Batman. This takes place right after Have I Got a Story for You. Batman is bringing the Man in Black, the Frog Man, to good old Gordon.
Yeah.
And says, "Hey, I got your guy." This is the only place where I think Batman's justice fully works, is catching escaped people.
When he operates like an old-timey bounty hunter in like the Wild West.
That's exactly right. You got to have warrants in order for Batman
he needs to have warrants.
Yeah. But there's a hilarious interaction. And I'm not sure if you picked up on it too.
Maybe, but we're right at the line of what my major point from this one is.
Go for it.
Well, no, you go first because you started.
There's a fight an argument between Alan and Ramirez, where he goes, "He's a vigilante," and she goes, "He's not."
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, he is.
He is the definition of one.
That there have been none in Gotham City before this specific moment. You finally have one.
Yeah.
And you are in pure denial.
It just, yeah.
All right, so what do you got?
This Crossfire has one of the most insane revelations about the Nolanverse, is that they just abandoned the Narrows.
That's exactly.
And turned it into Arkham City.
That was my thing.
It's like, ever since the fear gas stuff, we just cut off the island, and it's just become a prison island
They
now.
say, I put it in quotes, this is how much, they said the whole island is asylum ground.
Mm-hmm.
Meaning it's an asylum.
That was where all the poor people lived.
The whole island is abandoned to madness.
Yeah, they just abandoned. It's the
Jesus
plot,
Christ.
Yeah, it's the plot of Arkham City.
This is some anime shit right here.
Yeah, an entire prison city.
But I guess that makes sense because you can't just.
Does it?
Well, they had to abandon the Narrows. In a way, it makes Gotham sense because what you have is a town that is sort of filled with refugees in their own town. That's sort of what Gotham encompasses, is a town that's sort of been under the grip of crime and fear and everything like that. Batman trying to fix that. And remember, the Narrows is where the train went down.
Yeah.
Wayne Tower is really the main thing in the Narrows. So Bruce Wayne,
yeah,
right?
People still coming to work at Wayne Tower.
But if there's one person that's going to be able to divert people to other jobs and say, you know what? I don't mind my huge business being not available right now. It's the fucking billionaire that did it. I mean, who better than to say, you know what? It's fine that this place got super fucked up than the guy who fucked it up.
I mean, I still
talk about guilty consciences.
I still think it's completely insane.
It is, but I guess the other thing is, what would happen if thousands of violent, insane criminals got loose in a place that you can't guarantee that they'll be like? Would you want your kids living in the Narrows when fucking Zaz and people like him is out there? Like, you would abandon it, and I guarantee you that the subtext of this is that Wayne Enterprises is funding the people that have left.
I mean, yeah, it feels like you would. You'd send the National Guard in to collect all of you wouldn't just be like, well, this whole city is a prison now.
I think they mentioned that they're working on reclaiming it.
They might.
I think they said like for now or something like that, where it's
the idea of just
weird.
being like, well, it's a prison now. It's so crazy to me.
Yeah.
And so doesn't fit in with the
whole Nolan. Yeah. No, you're not wrong, but I just see like, well, Mr. Wayne, it says here that we have these refugee camps that we had built for Afghanistan. It seems the United States military didn't think refugees were worth this much.
Yeah, they just pop up tent cities.
Yeah. Do they come in black?
Why, yes. They're all just death shrouds.
We heard Joffrey from Game of Thrones got super fucked up by a Killer Croc.
Right. I can't wait till we get to Killer Croc in this.
Ooh, see you next week for that one.
Yeah.
That one is ape shit. That one is going to be the one that I think we're going to spend the most time on.
Maybe.
I'm excited for it.
Yeah,
I'm actually really excited for that. I will say this, though. Crossfire crams a lot of information into a relatively short film.
Yeah, each of these is like 11 minutes long.
Summer 18.
Really?
Yeah, there was one that was pretty long. Might be the Croc one.
Maybe.
That one takes a while.
Maybe.
Alan's like, I'm leaving the MCU because we basically sit here and run errands for a vigilante.
Yeah.
He's not wrong.
He is not wrong.
He's sort of like, what would have happened to Brad Pitt's character in Seven if he lived in Gotham. I'm like, I didn't come here to not do my fucking job.
Yeah.
And then we get to the part where and he says that, and then she stops in the middle of the Narrows.
Yep.
She just stops in the middle of an open thing. And then out of nowhere, like in that scene in Adventures in Babysitting on the subway, a gang turf war happens around
in a parking lot. The Russian brought a rocket launcher to this.
At least one.
Right.
The Russians versus Maroni. You have your standard shootout, the crossfire situation.
Yeah.
A rocket launcher comes out. The Italians get super fucked up by the Russians.
Yeah, they get fucking destroyed almost immediately.
The Russians are doing great.
Yeah, they are putting up some serious numbers on
Good
the
for
board.
them.
Yeah.
Good for them.
Yeah.
Until Hagar and Cody show up and after eating some meat they found under a trash can.
Eating gigantic plates of meat to replenish their stamina.
Beating men with a wrench. With a stovepipe.
Batman swoops in looking crazy.
Just
like,
I mean, first off, he's got some tech.
Yeah.
That he saves Alan's about to die, and Batman saves him by shooting a grappling hook around his leg and then somehow arcing him way up into the air.
Yeah, like
and having him land on a roof probably 17 stories up.
In front of him somehow.
Yep.
He reverse pendulum him.
Pretty high, drops him down. He's like, hey.
Hey, it's me.
It's me. My ears were burning.
I just Gwen Stacy'd you.
And then Batman fucks up everyone.
Yeah, he just goes in and there's the scene you were talking about earlier when Maroni is recovering from the rocket blast. Notices Ramirez. I almost called her Montoya. Yeah. And it's like, I'm going to kill you. And then he's like, got her hostage.
I've got you.
Yeah.
She saves him, too.
Yeah.
She saves his life.
Yeah.
Which is also an interesting thing to know.
Yeah, that's true. Maybe there's something there. Or maybe it's just...
Maybe she knows about Sal Maroni. Because remember, it's not Sal Maroni that is Eric Roberts.
Yeah,
it's his brother, isn't it?
No, it's him.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
I thought it was his brother.
Nope.
I thought, oh, okay.
They're in the
because I know the Maroni family has a lot of siblings from the Long Halloween, right?
Yeah, but in the courtroom scene with Harvey Dent, remember the guy tries to shoot him?
Yeah.
He says, Eric Roberts says to him, I thought you guys just play golf. And he said, tea time's at however, plenty of time to put you away for life, Sally.
Yep, you're right. You're 100% right. Because I just looked up Sal Maroni, and it's Eric Roberts and Rob Paulson. Those are the two.
Yeah.
He looks way better in Gotham. I'm dreading watching that, by the way, for this show.
God.
I am dreading Gotham.
At least we get some Trash Bullock in Gotham.
We're going to get... I mean, sure. There's going to be a lot of hashtag Trash Bullock in Gotham. But I was thinking about that this week and dreading it.
Bane looks like a Power Rangers villain.
You know who he looks? He literally looks like the bad guy from Toxic Crusaders.
Yes.
Do you remember that guy with the arms?
I sure do. I totally remember that cartoon.
Why wouldn't you make a cartoon for kids based off of a
Avenger?
Hard R-rated B movie by a legitimate pervert? So yeah, but she saves him, and he's like, "I gotcha.
I gotcha."
That to me is the implication of
maybe
that to me.
Maybe my favorite part of the standoff is, Batman is several yards away, standing in flames, and Maroni's got Ramirez in front of him with a gun on her head, and then all of a sudden, Batman just teleports to him.
Yep.
And snatches the gun away.
Is that not how you? Is that not how you fight?
That's how I would like to fight.
He's like Scorpion.
Yeah. Just fucking lances a spear in his chest.
Mortal Batmen and women defending their own world is not about death, but life. I'm Christopher Lambert. I'll do this voice forever. I had my thing for this one that I will then sort of bring out here because you had yours, so I have another thing that I want to look at.
You got a backup
which
thing.
Is Lieutenant Gordon's a good judge of character. Foreshadowing, because they might I feel like the animators to this were given the plot points of The Dark Knight.
Some of them.
They had the plot points.
Yeah.
Not the script.
Yeah.
This is the this is the this character is this. Because I feel like, because Ramirez, this is her introduction.
Yes.
She's not in Batman Begins.
No.
So this is her introduction. You don't introduce a character that becomes canon without knowing what the fate of that character is going to be.
Yeah, and the same thing with Maroni and the Russian. We don't see them in Batman Begins.
Do they ever call him the Russian?
No.
I don't know, because is that...
No.
I don't know if those are the same. I know the guy, like the long-haired, greasy...
I'm sure...
greasy
who else could it be?
I'm being who's that long-haired, greasy wop over here? No, I don't know why.
No, I mean, who else would it be?
Yeah, that's true.
He's never named, I don't think.
Yeah, I mean, I always feel like that's true. In my head, I'm immediately jumping to maybe they just don't count that character in Batman Begins, but why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
But yeah, man, that outfit...
Straight up Capcom boss.
Holy smokes.
Yeah.
That is out of control. And it's not the last we see of him.
No, he is a recurring character in these.
It's a threat.
Yeah.
It looks like he bought a pimp Halloween costume at Party City.
Yeah. It's
just rolled with it.
Yeah. It looks like an alternative costume for Zangief.
Yeah.
Like
he does. He looks like a boss at the end of he's dressed like Andore from Final Fight.
Andor.
Yeah. I used to call him Andor, and then I was like, oh, he's supposed to be Andre the Giant.
Yeah.
It's Andore. I get it now. Silly Capcom. I liked in Final Fight how you would fight all these like men, and then just out of nowhere it'd just be like a 7-foot tall samurai.
Yep, Sodom.
There you go. That's
Sodom.
That's of course. Why wouldn't it be?
Yeah.
Oh, so that's Crossfire, written by Greg Rucka. Read Greg Rucka's stuff. This GCPD is fantastic. Lazarus is fantastic too. Crossfire is good.
Yeah, it was fine.
Yeah.
Field test.
This one's full of weird shit.
This is the most Batmanime that of all of them. Bruce Wayne straight up looks like a Yu-Gi-Oh character.
He looks like he's made of triangles. Like
yeah, he looks like he looks like a character from Psycho-Pass. Like it is so.
Who's that? What's the Nintendo character that's the lawyer? I forget what his name is, and people are screaming at us right now.
Yeah, he's in Marvel vs.
It's
Capcom.
like a bird name, right? Like something Falcon or something.
Ace.
Yeah. Ooh, this is tough. Huh?
Oh my gosh.
But he has that.
He looks like that character. You're not wrong.
Yeah. Phoenix Wright.
Phoenix Wright. There you go.
There it is. Bird name.
You said what's the name of the bird lawyer? I was like Harvey Birdman.
Yeah, that's the one.
That's not right.
Attorney at law. Yeah. So he has that. It's a very angular and sleek design.
Yeah.
But this one answers a question that should be answered, which is, why aren't you extra bulletproof?
Yeah.
Because, it makes sense.
Yeah.
That you would be able to...
I don't know. We don't see anything that in the 3 Nolan movies that suggests that he would ever be able to create a literal force field.
I feel like all he has to do is ask
Morgan Freeman,
Lucius Fox, and he's
I thought you'd never ask. We have this technology down here in the basement.
We have knife and gun proof technology that nobody wanted.
Yeah. Really? Nobody wanted this?
Not a lot of base jumping. What? Shit. Okay.
I would buy a knife proof suit.
I would wear one every day.
I would never get out of it. I would be Azrael in that thing.
Yeah, I would take up vigilantism.
Yeah. If I had a knife and bulletproof suit, I would just live in that thing.
I wrote my opening note, because what you said first, my opening note is Bruce looking extra anime. Yes. It's like they took the concept of anime and squared it.
Right, and it's so fucking bizarre to hear Kevin Conroy's voice come out of this character design.
Out of a child.
Right, because
he looks super young.
Yeah, he looks like 22. It's the typical, kind of fayish anime character.
Yeah. They don't do 30 in this anime.
No.
30's not a
Well,
thing.
I mean, it's a standard anime where you're either 22 or you're 65.
Or you're Pai Mei. You know?
Yeah. Because they made Lucius look like Father Time.
Yeah. And I like that he takes the celebrity golf spot from Lucius Fox. And I'm like, is he a celebrity?
Yeah.
This is Gotham.
Yeah, Bruce Wayne and
celebrities.
Lucius Fox. Who's getting that celebrity golf invite?
Do you mind if I take over? I mean, maybe they booked it in advance.
Yeah, maybe like
back when Bruce was dead.
Yeah. Also, I love that there's a scene of Bruce playing celebrity golf.
Yeah,
it reminded me of the scene in Batman Returns when Michael Keaton Bruce has a meeting with Christopher Walken,
just doing
about his power plant. It's just doing boring ass rich guy stuff.
Yeah, why not? That's an insane concept too.
It is. I do. And it's the same in both of them, where Bruce kind of roasts the guy.
Yeah,
like
Bruce is like, "You're a fucking scumbag."
Yeah, you're a clear scumbag.
We see
this one. He uses his electromag to make the guy's golf club.
He pranks him.
Yeah,
essentially.
Yeah, he punks him.
There are boats in Gotham Harbor. We see the satellite images, which is a callback to the satellite.
Right. Well, and it starts out with part of the satellite has crashed because of a disturbance within it, and that's how they get this electromagnetic technology that can repel bullets.
You had an EMP pulse that's creating that made it crash, and the electromagnet is just, to put it to the layman, just fucking shit up.
Yeah, that's one of my notes in here, and I guess that'll be my thing, if not just Batman anime in general. Is that my note is like, wait, Bruce Wayne has a force field in this?
Yep.
It seems so. It's another moment that steps so far beyond the Nolan verse that really makes this Gotham Knight in general, hard to like connect.
Yeah, but at the same time, there is a scene in The Dark Knight where they bazooka shoot several 9mm bullets into different blocks of concrete in order to get a fingerprint, which is more unbelievable to me.
I still don't understand the logic thread of that sequence. He's reconstructing the bullet
by the shattering, by shattering
different bullets.
Why is that the case?
Because why else would he shoot several different bullets into the wall
to get which one impacted differently? I don't think they're different bullets. I think they're the same bullet, but not everything reacts the same way. So he's trying to recreate the exact. It's fucking weird.
For what? Why wouldn't you just take the fragments and reassemble them?
Look, man, we're gonna tear.
What you're saying right now doesn't make any sense.
What we're gonna tear this part up. Come back in. 2 weeks,
yeah,
and we will tear the shit out of this.
Yeah,
but for now,
sure.
It sort of makes sense to me because I feel like an electromagnet for small arms fire could theoretically work, but it is a reckless concept.
Yeah, as we see in this.
And because he also says like, if someone shoots you with a rifle, you're fucked. Like anything but a pistol, and you're fucked.
Yeah.
So in that regard, it doesn't not make sense that if you have something that's pushing out as an electromagnet, that it won't affect you because it's not going to be inside the field. It'll be sort of behind the field no matter what.
Yeah.
It is weird.
It'd be a nightmare walking around with that thing.
Yeah. No, you're right. And they set it to be like
hard drive.
They set it to like a certain decibel
like
level,
frequency,
but at the same time, is it the sound frequency of the bullet coming at you or the explosion of the sound? Because sometimes the bullet hits you before the sound is ever.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's weird.
Maybe that's why a rifle doesn't help.
Can I say? I will say my thing. I wrote down. Uses the magnet just to be a dickhead to Marshall.
Yep. Fuck Marshall. Marshall is kind of the bad guy of the whole Gotham Knight.
A strange arc. Yeah, it's a strange arc that this ends up being a Batman the Animated Series plot.
Yeah, because he's literally killed
Teresa Williams.
A
community
organizer because he wants the land.
And then he hijacks Maroni's yacht.
He sure does.
And drives it. My thing is that this is the worst Batman costume I've ever seen.
It's terrible. He looks like a bird.
Like a hawk.
Yeah, like his nose is goes so far forward.
Over. It's almost like a motorcycle helmet or something with a robin on it. My dad called me Robin.
He said I swooped out like a robin. No, he didn't. No one ever would ever say that to you.
You stupid dick.
No matter what the hell you were doing.
I hate Batman's costume in this.
He looks real bad.
The stylistic choice of this to make him look like a bird, you're right. It's bad.
Yeah, it looks very silly.
It's sort of, they kind of used this design successfully in the Batman cartoon. If you remember the Batman.
I do. He has claws in it.
Yes. And he also has it's like a less indented spot. Yeah. It is more helmety, but this looks so over the top and weird, and I don't like it.
Yeah.
I'm a white guy, and I don't like this choice. No.
Everything's for me, so.
And then he tries to force the truce.
Yeah. And
then someone takes a shot. One of Maroni's men, who are the most incompetent. This is a generally anti-Italian movie. If I can
what
be
a
honest.
Weird place to take this to. Batman getting these two criminal guys together.
I don't have enough to arrest you yet, but you guys have a truce.
Like what?
You get the docks. You get the Narrows or whatever.
Yeah. Since when have you ever had enough evidence to arrest anyone? He shows up and beats the shit out of people.
Yeah, you beat people up, man.
And then that's it.
Yeah, he tries to force the truce, and then the shot gets taken, and it hits just a Russian guy in the arm.
Well, it
ricochets
off of his magnet armor.
Yeah,
his force field.
The force field ricochets, and it hits.
And this is
Russian.
My favorite part. I guess this is my thing. Is that Batman drives a guy to the hospital?
Yeah,
in the Batmobile.
I get it,
but my thing is he gets out of the car with this hoodlum who has been shot, dressed as Batman, and says to the hospital staff, "Somebody shot this guy."
We think we have an idea who it might have been.
Really, Batman? Did you happen to have anything to do with this guy getting shot?
What's that gun thing hanging from the side of your belt?
Oh, that's for grappling. It's just like a claw gun.
It's a claw gun? Is that what it is?
You said gun.
Yeah.
Couldn't help it. Like when you take someone to the hospital that has been shot, they ask you some questions.
I mean, I wouldn't ask Batman any questions.
Right? I mean, like I know, but it seemed like it struck me as so hilarious to the extreme that it comes out. Somebody shot this guy. Completely divorces himself from any of the responsibility.
I found him like this.
Yeah.
I also like we did skip the line, the "you break him, you bottom" line on that.
Oh yeah,
that doesn't seem like what you would do to one of your guys for getting shot in the arm.
You're a mob. You have
a doctor.
Doctors. Yeah,
you just take him to
your
mob.
This guy to get arrested because then he's got info on your whole. Very stupid position for Maroni to take.
Yep. Yeah, that was. Hey, take this witness. Go save this witness.
Yeah. Give this guy a reason to fucking roll on me.
So when he's like fighting off the cops and he gets a hold of a gun.
Yeah.
And Batman's like, "Don't do it, bro. Motherfucker, you have been disarming people from miles away.
We saw you teleport last segment.
And now you're just being like, hey, I know you got shot in the shoulder."
Right.
Kind of by me. Like it wasn't my fault, but it was my fault.
But it was my fault.
Do me a favor. Heads up. Why don't you toss that gun into that grate for next time?
Yeah.
That's a kind of foreshadow. That's an excellent foreshadow, by the way. I actually was impressed by that decision. Knowing what was coming up.
Right, and I like where that one ends.
Yes. And then Batman, this ridiculous episode, because it is kind of ridiculous.
Oh,
you're not... Me saying I kind of see it doesn't not make me say this is still fucking ridiculous.
Yeah.
Is when he goes... He's like, "Oh, it didn't work?" He's like, "It works too well. I'm willing to put my life on the line, but it has to be me." I get it.
Yeah.
He treasures all life.
I still might take the force field.
Just in case. Look, I'm going to turn it off most of the time.
Yeah, it won't be on unless,
But I'm going to need this.
I get it, because it is going to... Some kid is going to get shot. Like, it's...
Yeah.
like, you know, you hear stories about, like, on the 4th of July when people shoot their gun in the air. I mean, that bullet comes back down.
Yeah.
And sometimes it hits people. Like, so you're just got this force field that's throwing bullets in any direction.
Yeah. You should have seen that coming from a while away.
And he's usually swooping down on these dudes in low-income neighborhoods.
But I guess if
so
you're
it's
in a
gonna, like,
warehouse, I get it.
Maybe, but I mean,
I'd put it in the glove compartment is all I'm saying.
yeah,
Like,
bullets go for a long way.
keep it in your emergency kit. Yeah, but if you're in a warehouse, they're going to hit the walls and just
Yeah,
stuck
but
in the
if he's like
cinder
in the
blocks or whatever.
narrows, that's gonna fucking hit.
Well, you don't wear it.
Throw off and hit some single mom while she's putting her kids.
Look,
to
man,
bed.
it's like a condom. You don't show up wearing it, but you have it when you need it.
I'm saying you bring it with you.
Yeah, you just keep it in a suitcase,
You know?
or something.
Yeah.
In the nightstand.
He takes a nightstand with him everywhere he goes.
Even if you're not bullet active, you should still carry it with you.
It's a good idea to have
for
'cause
emergencies.
You never know
what can happen.
You never know.
But it's crazy.
Yeah,
is
this
all I'm
is an
saying.
insane episode.
But I do get the I'm willing to put my life on the line, but
Sure.
not anybody else's. I think that ties back to Katie Holmes smacking the shit out of him.
Well, it makes sense.
For saying he was going to kill Joe Chill, and then
It's Batman.
Yeah, it sticks within the character that Nolan has created, minus killing Ra's al Ghul.
Minus killing Liam Neeson.
Harsh.
Fuck you, bro.
You know, technically it's the fault that's going to kill you.
Yeah.
That's Field Test.
That's the end of Field Test, and that's an episode.
Is that it?
That's it.
That's it. I mean, that's good stuff.
Yeah.
This is an insane. I'm so glad
we're making a meal out of Gotham
I'm
Knight.
so glad we're doing this because this is it's insane.
I forgot it existed.
Oh, I never will forget this existed. Never.
Well, now I won't.
Never.
But
I've owned the DVD and I've watched it once.
Mm.
I watched it. Maybe I watched it twice because I also watched it when I did my pop culture class to talk about a lot of weird shit, but like
Sure.
economics and morals and stuff like that.
Sure.
Because it was right before The Dark Knight, and I'm like, all right, guys, you want to learn a lesson? We'll learn a lesson, and then you can go watch Dark Knight.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool.
Run along.
Go on. Learn some cool shit with Batman. That's it.
Yeah,
that's our episode, and this was a freebie.
Yeah.
Thank you for listening.
Yeah, and if you want to hear part 2 and the rest of our Tom and Jeff Watch Batman catalog, head over to patreon.com/gamefullyunemployed.
Yeah, enjoy these freebies, but you're going to want look, man, you're going to want
You really want part 2 of this.
part 2 even if you're like signing up to 1 month for $5 and then just get rid of it.
Yeah.
You're going to want to listen to the next week's episode.
Yeah, there's so much happens.
There's a lot.
Immediately.
And it's a lot to unpack.
So yeah, thanks for listening. Check us out on Twitter. Do the things we got.
Find us. Tom is at Start the Machine.
I am
at Hey There Jeffro across all platforms. Please support live comedy. If you're coming out to LA, please support our specific live comedy.
Yes.
And check out all our shit.
Do that. All of the things.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.
I have a gunshot victim, severe bleeding in the shoulder. He needs assistance now.
Our artwork is produced by Justin Brown. You can follow him on Twitter at Justin T. Brown and find more of his artwork at artnessbyjustinbrown.com and justinbrown.info.